This is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 40. O my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh Bahashah, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodash. Double honor to my teachers, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule and teach well, and peace and salutations to the elect that scattered across the four corners of the planet Earth, pushing this truth and sincerity and meekness without wavering, as well as risking their life for freedom to do so. This is your brother ICR for the GMS Cleveland Church, and I'm back with another lesson, and Lord willing, it is edifying to one of the Lord's elect. Okay, and I got a couple videos we're gonna watch. And I will say this is for entertainment, not entertainment, but educational purposes. I do not own any rights to these videos. Once again, this is for educational purposes. I am not making any monetary gain from these videos, and I do not own the rights to these videos. Okay, so as you see, it says what HUD, Shalakia. It says what HUD's new housing cap means for homeless services in Cuyahoga County. And that's the county that we, the Brotherhood GMS Cleveland, are in. And if you don't know, Cleveland um is in the top 10 foreclosures, eviction rates. Okay. But yeah, I believe those are the two that Cleveland is in the top 10. Is in the top 10 category of both. Okay. And why is that? Well, they're pretty much going to explain it in the video. Okay, the price of living, okay, is astronomically high compared to what it was over 50 years ago. They just did a video about the Home Alone when he went shopping. He spent $20 and got a whole bunch of items. They said those same items today, okay, is worth $50. So that's uh over 100% increase, man. That's called inflation. Okay. And this is what causes people um to lose their living, lose their home, man, because they have to choose between paying certain bills. Okay, like for instance, they got to choose between a car note and a mortgage or rent, or they have to pay bills, okay, or eat instead of pay bills. And they don't tell you that these things, debt increases. Okay, debt increases as inflation increases, man. Okay, which this is the whole plan of the wicked elites. They want to see us empty. Okay, they want to see our bank accounts empty. Okay, they want to see us stripped of everything just in order for them to come with a solution, which is really detrimental to your life, man. Which that solution is the MOTB. Okay, the mark of the beast, which is a subdermal implantable device. Okay, but nevertheless, let's check out a couple of these videos. All right, because this is Bible prophecy. We're supposed to be pilgrims upon the earth, or the earth. A pilgrim doesn't have a steady, okay, a stable resting place, man. They're always on the move. And what are they always on the move looking for? A spiritual or spiritual benefit or a miracle, okay, from the Most High, man. All right. And who are the true pilgrims? It's the Israelites, starting with the elect, okay, which today the Israelites will consist of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Seminole Native American Indians, man, as well as our people that are scattered amongst the heathen that look like the heathen, man. You're the pilgrims of the Bible, man. Okay. But nevertheless, let's check this video out.
Well, homelessness has been a problem in Cuyahoga County for years.
And after several years of progress, we saw the number of people experiencing homelessness tick up last year. The Department of Urban Housing reported more than 11,000 Ohioans considered homeless. And the Coalition for the Homeless, they say more than 3,000 families were homeless last year. And now there is concern that even more potentially could lose their home because of a shift in federal funding. News 5's Cynthia Abusada explains why advocates say it puts resources in jeopardy.
People are homeless because there is affordability issue in housing, and there's not enough housing for individuals to access.
For years, Chris Nestor.
Yeah, I was riding downtown the other day. You know, it's a it's a hotel, if you might say. Let's just say it's an establishment that houses people. Very nice establishment called the Nine. I was driving past that and I seen I was looking at the alley and I seen, pretty much a cover with somebody wrapped up in it in the alleyway, man. Okay, and this is in downtown Cleveland. Now, if you downtown Cleveland is a pretty decent, we have a pretty decent downtown, but you if you drive down there, certain parts you'll see a lot of homeless people just laying out on the ground, man. And then, you know, this is the issue with the ruler of this kingdom, man. You have all these empty houses, man. Okay, but yet, what do? You don't put anybody in them. You let the houses, uh, pretty much, um, you let them sit. You vacate. You let them be vacant for months, even years, and then what that leads to is the destruction of a house, man. Um, Pipes get rusted out, or you might even have somebody stripping the siding of the house to sell the aluminum, man. You see, this man, he has the he's able to fix things, okay, but he just won't do it, man. All right, because the scriptures say who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean, okay. Esau's not able to do right, okay. This is just the example, man. But you have a lot of homeless people downtown, okay, and then you have a lot of people going downtown, walking past these homeless people, specifically you Edomites, man. All right, you have the power in your hands to do good, and you just won't do it. Okay, you'll tell them you ain't got no money. Next thing you know, you're going to a fucking bar and ordering shots or even um uh rounds of beer or whatever it may be. Okay, this is why we cannot wait for the Israelites to elect to be on top, man, because they're gonna set back order in the world, man. Because this isn't order, okay? This is confusion, okay? Yeah, let's play some more of this video. It's pissing me off, man. All right.
With the Northeast Ohio Coalition for the Homeless has worked to move people off the street and into homes.
People don't heal from the sidewalk, and so let's get people into housing.
Now he worries about the impacts of the Department of Housing and Urban Development's new cap on permanent housing funding.
Any cut to our homeless continuum budget is going to be devastating to our community.
Levine Ross, director of the Office of Homeless Services for Cuyahoga County, tells News 5 HUD has funded the Continuum of Care program, connecting people with resources and permanent housing for many years. But that funding is being capped and shifted towards transitional housing.
We will be subjected to a 30% cap, which means that $51 million will now go down to 15.4.
Previously, people could move into permanent housing with access to mental health or substance use treatment. Now, more money will go to transitional housing, which lasts up to 24 months and requires treatment participation. But Ross adds many in permanent housing are disabled.
You're dealing with individuals who have been chronically homeless. They also have a disability. And so how will that fare for them having a 2-year limit?
In a press release regarding the change, HUD wrote the following. This NOFO restores accountability on homelessness programs and promotes self-sufficiency among vulnerable Americans. Roughly 90% of the last 4 years, COC awards funneled funding to support the failed Housing First ideology, which encourages dependence on endless government handouts while neglecting to address the root cause of homelessness, including illicit drugs and mental illness.
So we're looking at about a 2,100 units that may fall outside of that 30% cap. Okay, so from there, we're looking at how can we transition those over to the new housing approaches.
As the county works to find solutions, Nestrick fears the long-term impacts of this shift.
These aren't individuals that can just go get a job and pay market rate rent. Individuals will go back to the streets.
Reporting in Cleveland, Idina Busa.
Right, you literally have, and I know where this is at. This is across the street from the basketball arena, Rocket Mortgage. Okay, Rocket Fieldhouse or whatever the name he changed it to. This is directly across the street. You have homeless people living outside living outside and across the street from the basketball arena. And what Esau plans to do to get rid of homelessness is he's making laws to arrest people who are homeless. And you know what he's going to do? He's going to put them into concentration camps, man. Okay, he's going to deem them as housing, facilities or, resting places or whatever he might deem them as. Okay, but really they're concentration camps because once you're in that camp, you're not going to be let out, man. And this is his problem. This is his solution to homelessness, man. Okay. This devil must go. Okay.
News 5.
And the application for the next grant cycle closes on
Bald
January
faced nigger.
14th. It will then be reviewed by HUD.
This nigga look like Bruce, man. Let's go to the next video.
Back in my 20s.
I don't know why this popped up. What I learned at the homeless shelter. That's the spirit. The lies they want you to believe. And I'm not gonna check that out. I'm gonna go right to California. California warns Trump funding cuts could deepen homelessness crisis. So let's check this out. Once again, I do not own any rights to this video. Okay, this is for educational purposes and not any monetary gain. All right, check this out.
Well, California is no stranger to the homelessness crisis, especially as the state faces some criticism that despite billions of dollars spent, the issue remains. Now, President Donald Trump is looking to cut some of that funding. State Matters political reporter Jenny Ha has the latest for us.
And we know what it is being out here, but what else do we do? I don't know what else to do.
This is Cecilia Montez. Montez says she and her pit bull Beastie have been living on and off the streets now for 3 years because she can't afford housing.
And you just learn how to budget your life on the money that you get.
Montez says she relies on state cash assistance and food stamps and that every day she's looking for a way out.
I don't want to say you get used to it or you get accustomed to it because I don't want to do that because then that means you're comfortable and I don't want to be.
Montez says a permanent solution rather than temporary shelters is her hope.
Something else other than just, we wanted to see if you guys want to come to the tiny homes this week, the ending place where we knew we would be able to end up.
But it's people like Montez that could be affected by an executive order, which pushes for temporary transitional housing with conditions like work requirements. This new order would place stricter conditions on and cut funding for permanent housing solutions, which is why advocates worry it could worsen California's homelessness crisis.
Folks will be sent back into homelessness, families, individuals across this country. So it's another unlawful action. It's another cruel action.
California and 19 other.
He said unlawful, man. That's the scriptures, man. All right, let's check this out and grab this. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 10 and verse 1. It says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, that they may rob the fatherless. And that's pretty much what Esau does when he brings in these unrighteous decrees. They're all out to harm and to harm you Israelites, man. Okay. He brings up laws in order for him to harm the Israelites, man. Okay. That their widows may be their prey. Okay, and that they may rob the fatherless, man. Okay, and that's talking about us, the nation of Israel, man. Okay, Esau is out to rob our people, man. Okay, he's out. He's feeding. He's the predator, man. We're the prey. See, he loves seeing Jake suffering. He loves to see Jake out there homeless on the streets, looking for coming to him for help, man. He gets off on that shit, man. See, this is why this devil, okay, and you Israelites will try to say he's gonna make it in the kingdom Okay, he's gonna you know, you're out of your fucking mind, man. Okay, the scriptures say, uh, you shall know them by their fruits. Okay, meaning what? You should be able to discern what type of person you are by the actions by your actions, man. Okay, Esau's actions are wicked. Okay, he literally has he has the solution to the issue. Okay, and what does he do? Okay, he can lower interest rates on mortgages. He can lower rents. He can lower rent. Okay, but he continues to inflate the numbers, man, and he's doing that so he can crash the economy, man. Okay, this is all the plan of the wicked elites, man. He wants to drive up the price of living so he can put your home in foreclosure. Okay, you're gonna fall behind on mortgage payments. Your home is going to go into foreclosure, and guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna take the house from you and sell it again, man. Okay, or let it just sit there and rot over time, man.
Other states are suing the Trump administration for changes in funding under the federal Continuum of Care program, which takes a housing first approach in helping states tackle homelessness. There is now a cap on how much of the 2026 funding can be used for permanent housing solutions, 30%, down from 90%.
There's certainly a policy debate between temporary versus permanent. But again, I think most Californians are just hoping to get folks off the street.
Governor Gavin Newsom says the new restrictions could put tens of thousands of Californians at risk. There's also a restriction on using funds for the promotion of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and gender ideology.
I think where the U.S. Supreme Court is today with its 6-3 conservative majority, I'm going to guess that they would probably allow President Trump to withdraw those funds.
Jenny Ha, ABC 10.
Housing continues to be a hot topic in the DMV.
So it says federal funding cuts could increase Maryland's homeless population by up to 25%. Man. 25%. Okay, that's 1 out of 4 people, man, or families. Okay, and a lot of you women, okay, you're gonna be down bad. Okay, because what did you do? Okay, you removed the Israelite man, the serpent Esau had you remove the Israelite man from your house just so you can receive government assistance. Now what is he doing? Esau's removing that same assistance that he's given to you, and he's now what? You on your own. Okay, figure it out. Okay, if you can't figure it out, you ain't gonna be living here, man. All right, you're gonna be out on the streets. Okay, and rightfully so, man. You deserve everything that's coming for you, Eve. Okay, which Eve is an Israelite, the so-called black woman. Okay, as well as the rest of the tribes, man. But starting off with the so-called black woman. Okay, a lot of these women are gonna be without. Even brothers are gonna be without, man. You can't just make it about the so-called black woman. All right, and brothers are gonna lose their houses. Okay, and what do we have to do as Israelites? Okay, of the hopeful elect, we have to take them in. Okay, we have to take them in. Okay, and where it's gonna be the time that's coming up. It's gonna be a time of testing our charity, man. Okay, testing our sincerity. Okay, seeing if we really love Yahweh Bashim Yahushua and the brothers, man. Okay, because once again, brothers will lose things, man. And this is why, as an Israelite man, it's important to be disciplined when it comes to pretty much working. Okay, having this having being wise with your shekels. Okay, make sure you paying your bills on time. Because brothers are dependent on one another, man. Okay, we have to be ready to take care of one another. Okay, is that not what was going on in the book of Acts? Okay, in the 4th chapter, I believe at the end of the verse. Okay, the church put everything they had, together, and they dispersed it among the church, man. Okay, so let's check this out. I'm gonna play these last 2 videos, and then I'm gonna close out.
Our Maryland Bureau Chief Brad Bell is digging into the state housing secretary's prediction that federal cuts will lead to a 25% increase in homelessness. Brad, you're asking how he came up with that number.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's an extraordinary claim if you think about it. 25% increase in homelessness in the state. So we did reach out to the secretary. We wanted to ask him, as you said, how do you come up with that number? He says it is a very real prediction. In a video released earlier this month, HUD Secretary Scott Turner announced major changes and cuts to a nationwide program called Continuum of Care, which provides permanent housing support for hundreds of thousands of people. Turner said the program encouraged dependence on, quote, government handouts. The move also redirects funding to transitional housing and supportive services.
If a policy is bad, all the money in the world can't turn its failure into success.
But the move has prompted Maryland's housing secretary to predict the change will result in a 25% increase in homelessness in Maryland within a year, as the 4,300 people in 2,400 households currently receiving a monthly check for their rent are cut off from that support. So we asked Day to explain his claim. How can you know that the homelessness will increase 25%? How can you know that these people will lose their homes?
They get a check today, every month, that pays for their rent. And that's permanent supportive housing. They also have funding that provides the supportive services. So within the next 6 months, what's going to happen is those checks are going to stop. These aren't people that are lazy. They're not failing to choose to work. They don't have the ability to be in the workforce. They don't have the option. The most likely outcome is these people who are receiving this funding because they were once chronically homeless will go right back to the life they were living before. They will be on the street once again.
HUD Secretary Turner has rejected such claims. He says safeguards are in place for those who truly need permanent help.
We're ditching that status quo and opening up competition to support real solutions, including from faith-based organizations. We are focusing on accountability and transparency.
Yeah, well, Secretary Day insists that if these cuts happen, these people will turn to homelessness. He says everybody who's getting it in Maryland was considered chronically homeless, meaning that they were homeless for at least a year. And he says this pain will be felt across the country in Republican districts as well as Democratic districts. And he is hoping that Congress will do something to at least slow this change.
And this is happening across the United States of America. This is in Maryland now. I went from Cleveland, okay, to, California, to Baltimore. Okay, I believe this is Baltimore, but this is Maryland. Okay, up to 25%. Then you're gonna have Baltimore right here. And who is this affecting? It's affecting Jake. Okay, this is affecting the Israelite. Okay, starting with the uh so-called black people. Okay, which is the tribe of Judah. All right. It says HUD funding cuts could force 1,000, right, Baltimore residents out of permanent homes. So we're gonna watch this one more time. Not one more time, but we're gonna watch this, and then we're gonna close out. Okay. Let me grab a preset real quick. This is the book, because I was thinking about this. The book of Micah, chapter 2, in verse 1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. Let's talk about the wicked elites, man. Okay, they're the ones that are devising iniquity. Okay, upon their beds. Okay, they're the ones that's carrying out the plans and orders, giving out the orders of what's going to happen in the United States of America. Okay, which is Babylon the Great. It says verse 2, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage, right? And that's what they doing. And that's what they've always done. Okay. Look how America was established. Okay. They coveted, okay, the so-called Americas. Okay, and they took them by violence. What happened when Cristobal Colon came over here in 1492 up until you know up until now? Okay, they're taking this place by violence. Okay, it says and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage, man. right? This is what Esau has done, and this is what he will continue to do. Okay, to oppress, okay, a man in his house, man. Okay, the scriptures talk about foreclosing on houses, man. Okay, in the book of Job, I believe. All right, and this is a wicked act, man. This man has over. I'm speaking about the wicked elites. They have over hundreds of trillions of dollars, man, and they can't let Jake live for free. Okay, or let Jake get back on his feet. Okay, and this devil has to be removed, man. All right. See, this is not that's not called love. Okay, the scriptures say love worketh no ill to its neighbor. Okay, Esau's working. He's working ill to it. He wants to harm you, man. Okay, he doesn't love you, Israelites, man. And all you coons out there championing for him, the Lord's gonna put you to death, man. All right. So let's play this video, then I'm gonna close out.
Funding cuts from the federal government to HUD threaten to put hundreds of Baltimore's unhoused residents out on the streets. Organizations are figuring out how to operate. WMAR2 News' Jeff Morgan spoke with community organizations in the city about the strain this is putting on those that help the homeless.
Millions of dollars in HUD funding for permanent housing are being cut off from Baltimore City. Current estimates have 700 to 1,000 people being put onto the street as early as the beginning of next year.
That need is going to be tremendous as we couple that with those who have their SNAP benefits that are cut in half. Now we're talking about housing at risk. And so that should be the focus of this city.
The cuts are coming to the permanent supportive housing program, provides long-term rental or lease support.
Baltimore City was around 94% at permanent supportive housing. Now HUD is saying that we're only going to allot 30% of funding for permanent supportive housing. That means that the rest of those permanent supportive housing providers will have to switch to transitional housing at best.
The cuts in funding come with more restrictive regulations on how funding can be spent, further complicating the issue.
It's not really a clear solution in place for folks right now, and it's causing a lot of confusion for folks.
People could start being pushed out of these programs as soon as the beginning of next year.
I think it's going to be a huge shock to folks that have been convinced that they are supported, that the resources are being poured into them to ensure that they don't find themselves on the streets.
Funding from the state or city to fill the gaps is unlikely. The state is dealing with a projected $1.5 billion budget shortfall, and another $46 million to cover the HUD cuts isn't expected, leading to worse outcomes for Maryland and Baltimore's homeless population. In Baltimore, Jeff Morgan, WMAR2 News.
You know, and as you see, man, this is happening across all the United States of America. All right, and we're not supposed to worry about being homeless, man. The Lord is going to take care of us and provide for us. There's already provisions made for the elect. He said, my servant shall eat, but you shall be hungry, man. The Lord will take care of us. All right. So I'm going to close out. Lord willing, this was edifying to one of the Lord's elect. I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakwadash, and double honor to my teachers, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect. Kwam Yashar Shalom Wa Abba Ball.